So in this video, we're changing the mood a little bit. We're going to be talking about my 5 most challenging logo design projects. By challenging, I don't mean bad clients, I don't mean bad people, I don't mean bad results. They just all came with slightly different challenges that I had to get through, get over, and I think it's going to bring a little bit more insight to my mind, my process, and the way I think. So I hope you enjoy it. So, project 1, jungle culture. Jungle culture, another absolute banger for me. Again, one of my all-time favorites. The challenge here for me was the rebrand. I always find rebrands a little tough, a little challenging, just due to the emotional attachment that the client has to their original work. And then it's also about, keeping all of that personality and bringing it into a new design, keeping all the goodness but not changing anything. It's always a bit of a challenge. So with this one, what I did was I looked at their existing logo and realized the bamboo was such a significant element of their design. So by cleverly playing around with type, adding in the bamboo into the negative space of the U, I was able to create not only a very cool, very memorable and super fresh design, but I also managed to keep all the personality that they wanted me to keep from their original. So very challenging, but also very rewarding. Now, project 2, Exquisite Studio. Exquisite Studio, one of my all-time favorite projects. Roxy was great, the outcome was great, the whole project was fantastic, to be fair, but the challenge I found here was, how can I visualize a vegan-based company without doing the standard leaf, branch, vegan sign direction? So once I was going through my initial sketch phase, and Roxy put a really great mood board and stylescape together, and it was the power of the animal, and that's something I really wanted to celebrate within this design. So cleverly, or subtly I should say, I actually managed to get the leaf as the tail of the bird. So I managed to execute the bird, the animal, as our kind of representative for Exquisite Studio, but also have that subtle feathery leaf as a slight connotation towards the vegan culture. So it ended up banging, I absolutely loved it, but that was the little challenge I found with this one. Project number 3, Tom Ross. So this next one, again, classic MBJ logo for my man, Tom Ross. Tommy Rossi, love you, man. But that was the challenge with this one. He was a really good friend, and sometimes you get caught up I don't want to let people down. I don't want to make them hate me. Not that it would ever happen like that, but sometimes, working with friends very closely, within a project, can be quite challenging and quite daunting, but the end result was fantastic. It took a few revisions, and we kind of went through a few stages of rights and wrongs, but the final result was absolutely beautiful. We managed to get all of Tom's personality in there. We managed to get his sense of community and sense of coaching and sense of friendship and friendliness all the way through the whole brand identity. So Tom, I love you. I'm glad you dig the logo, but yeah, winner. Project number 4, unincorporated coffee. I know it's one of your favorites, it's definitely one of mine. And again, the challenge here was the rebrand. And the reason I've added 2 rebrands into this kind of beautiful little video is because I think it's something that we all struggle with as designers. When we've got free reign, to start from scratch, sometimes it's a lot easier for us to move forward in a particular direction. But when we're struggling with our own creativity to create, but also restricted with something that already exists, we sometimes do struggle to push the boundaries of what's capable. So, as you know, it took me a few different variations to go through. Like the first variation I did for these guys, I went too far. The second variation, I didn't go far enough. But then after taking some time away, letting myself breathe, we ended up absolutely smashing it, And that's the really important thing. If you do need some time away from a project, take it, because the results will come and it will be awesome. But, what a project, loved it. Project number 5, the Zara Memorial Foundation. So, last but very much not least, the Zara Memorial Foundation. The most challenging one about this one was the emotional factor. Just to give you a little bit of background, she was out riding with her mum one morning. Her horse went into a marsh, and whilst trying to save her horse, she unfortunately lost her life at only the age of 14. So when her family reached out to me to get involved in this logo for her, obviously hypersensitive, very emotional, didn't want to let them down. We ended up going through 2 variations. The second one was the winner. And what I really wanted to do in this logo was celebrate her love for her horse, which is why they've got the comforting hand, with the horse's head. That really speaks. Zara was a very caring, ambitious, beautiful soul, and that caring nature is something that will now be carried on, for the rest of, it will be kind of immortalized within her memorial foundation, that caring nature, her awesomeness, and her love for her sport and her animals. So it was tough, but challenging for sure, challenge. So I hope that gives you a little bit of insight into my thinking behind some of these projects. And when I say challenges, a challenge isn't always a bad client or a bad project. Sometimes there are like emotional things that we feel that make stuff slightly tougher, whether it's, working with a friend or working on something that makes you feel hypersensitive, whether it's working on something that makes your client's got a super emotional attachment to it, and then you've got to try and create more of an emotional attachment to their work, which they've already got. Challenges are character building. Challenges are, what make us who we are. Never shy away from them. I think it's really important to embrace them. So the next time you get a brief or a client and you're going through a challenging situation with them, just step back, breathe, remember that you can do it. You just got to bring yourself back down. You're there to do a job, strip it back and just enjoy it, embrace the challenge, and more often than not, the results will be fantastic. So I hope this was useful. It's been a lot of fun, a little bit different, but super enjoyable. So stay safe and take care. You got this.